Okay. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon to some of you, according to your location on the face of this planet Earth. We welcome you all to this very broadcast of today, the 6th day of December 2025, from me, Fearless Ipob Evangelist Mazi. I am from Ndia Boys in N100. N100 is a local government in Nigeria province of Biafra land. I am a homeland broadcaster on the Ipob. Mazi Nnamdi is our leader, and he leads us from wherever he is. Ipob is an organization, a movement fighting for the restoration of Biafra under self-determination. Ipob have been demanding for referendum because there are changes and our lives are not safe in Nigeria. Very simple. Having seen ourselves in a country where they claim is a secular state, where they say everybody will live freely, what we saw suddenly is Sharia law in a constitution of country where there are so many beliefs in life. This very Sharia law is a Nigerian constitution that destroyed the constitution and tied the very country down. And it surprises Ipob when you see some people came up, try to tell you that they're educated, but they were not consulted before they added Sharia in a 1999 constitution. They may tell you it's a sixth republic. But how can you use 1999 constitution? Not even, they will say it was amended. Useless. It was a new written constitution to be leading people of 1960. People born 1970, 1950. People born that was born 1940. That is what they just came up with, that have Sharia in it. Sharia law, when you have a country that have its constitution and have a separate religious law for a particular people in a country they call one, and this very Sharia law is not a national idea, is not a national request, is not a national demand. It is a particular people's demand in a constitution of a country where you want everybody to live freely. And you saw Sharia there. You saw, is it Islam there? You saw Islam and Sharia. Do you understand? And this is like running a country, a religious country inside Nigeria, religious republic. Running a religious republic inside Nigeria. Now, when you ask them, they say it's one Nigeria, they have a constitution. A constitution that have a separate law. Now, let us go to the current happening in the killings of Christians. America, like congressmen in America, in one of their demands, they said that Sharia law should be abolished. Now, we expected the people of Imo State, Enugu State, people of Abia, Ebonyi, even Bayelsa, Edo State, both Middle Belt, both Yoruba people to say, no, Trump, we want Sharia law. We expected Igbo people to say we want Sharia law. You should allow it in our constitution. We expected like Nze Tobi Ugu to say we want Sharia law in our constitution. Like this Ojo Sokalo boy, this one that is now confused. On an art is a film. Every time one what is his name? Emeku Ugu Onyenke Enugu State. Right? What's the name of lawyer? Are you understanding? Now, It is only Fulani people that is telling Trump that they want Sharia law. This is a country where the USA government is trying to save the life of citizens. But a particular people who have their own particular law in the Nigerian constitution have come up to defend their own personal law, Sharia law, not Nigerian law. Are you understanding? That is why if you see this kind of people here on my screen quoting Nigerian constitution, you will see them as a fool. Any of them you see quoting Nigerian constitution, any human being you see quoting Nigerian constitution that have Sharia in it is a fool, is an idiot. They can never quote the Sharia for you when they are handling their matter. They knew that the Sharia law there is not for them. How can America talk about what will give the people safety, and the particular people is saying no? Instead of the whole Nigeria or people from different regions to say we want Sharia law, it is a particular people who owns that very part of the constitution in Nigerian constitution. And there is no other people that has it. That is people that created republic inside Nigeria and has their own constitution attached together with Nigerian constitution. And they have their president, Sultan of Sokoto, who leads them and controls them. And this is a constitution where somebody will come and be voting for you to convince IPOB, who discovered that Nigeria is now a Muslim country and will no longer continue with it. And we will not force people out of Nigeria because we are not comfortable with Nigeria. No, we call for referendum. Let people redecide their enslavement into Islamic country, because they were not Islam before. But rightfully, we have Islamic law. When we have accident on our leg, or on our hand or eye, we try to go and treat it. If our legs break, we treat it. Our hand break, we treat it. But in Sharia law, they will cut off the leg. The leg you suffer and went and treated. The hand you treated, the Sharia will cut it off. Instead of saving life, they are taking lives. They will pluck out your eye. They will cut off your ear. Sharia law in Nigerian constitution, that is a constitution that is useless, whereby people will be coming to be quoting such constitution in order to convince IPOB or to blackmail IPOB agitation. When your country is in a complete mess, and the position of IPOB is that our people must redecide their enslavement into the hands of Muslims. It's a very simple demand. We cannot force people, but people must do it by voting. And that is where these people, idiots, will come and tell you, you have to go to National Assembly, you vote in your people, and then you form a political party, you vote in your people, and they will go to the National Assembly, and they will present your matter. And you ask the idiot. The people of the state in Igbo land have made their choice. Federal government truncated it. And you are talking about National Assembly and Senate House, where they outnumbered you. They created you, gave you 5 states, gave you 15 senators. How many did they give the North? Only Kanu, right? How many did they give only Kanu? Let us come back to the state. The people of Imo voted in Emeki Hediora. And federal government said no. They brought Hope Osadema that was number 4. This is a country where they are telling you, go to National Assembly, vote in your candidate. Vote. The person talking this thing cannot be able to challenge the Sharia law in his constitution. He cannot be able to challenge the Fulani herdsmen carrying gun. Now, he cannot be able to challenge the northern leaders that say no to Sharia law in their constitution, whereby the international community said the Sharia law is contributing in the killings of Christians. It should be abolished. Now, the people of Rivers did not say no. The constitution should, the Sharia should be. The people of Yoruba do not say no. The Sharia should be. This Ugonye and Tobugu, they did not say the Sharia should be. They are silent. And they are quoting a constitution where a particular people saying they are defending the Sharia. You are not defending it. It's not a national demand, but it is a national threat. And the USA said this is a national threat. You should abolish it. But a particular people in the north said, we want the Sharia, whereby I am living in the same country with them, where I will treat my leg for accident, and they will cut off the leg because they are in Sharia law. They have their own police against Nigerian police that takes their own law, and they handle matter and say it's Sharia matter. We know Nigerian police can come into that matter because they are running a republic inside Nigeria. Automatically, the constitution becomes nullified, and thereby we cannot raise up gun in the time of agitation. We knew that some of our people are now used to Nigeria, and we are not comfortable with it, and we cannot take with because of few people, and will submit our life when we have discovered that Nigeria is now a Muslim country, where they have surrendered everybody with this. You see our politicians, they wear, the clothes they wear is northern wear. If they go to Senate, if they go to not gathering, they will wear Alhaji wear. You don't understand? It is when a president comes to Igbo land, they will wear Ishiago and give the president Ishiago. You know? But if they go to the north, they will wear Babariga to show their loyalty. Instead of when they are going to the north, they wear Ishiago so that they will identify them. But if they come back home, if Buhari or Tinubu is coming, they will wear Ishiago. They are afraid to wear the Ishiago in the north. They don't want to show their identity. They will come back here and say, hey, we are chief. It's a lie. Their chief dies here. Their Ishiago dies here. Do you understand? We continue. So now, how can such a country work? Then how can you free your people in such country? You demand for referendum. Let people redecide. Because somebody that decided today, there is no referendum in Nigerian constitution, and you ask him, were you consulted when they were adding the Sharia law in the constitution? Were you consulted? You were not consulted. Now, why is it that a particular section of people is defending the Sharia law? Because it is on their favor. So why are you not defending the Sharia law and tell America that you want it? So why do you want me to be a Nigerian, but you are not supporting, joining those that are part of Nigeria with you to defend the Sharia law in your constitution, which international body have seen as a threat to the national? But it's only IPOB that Nigeria present to you as the threat. Fulani Herdsmen know that they believe in negotiation. They are not threats. Do you understand? This is the problem we are facing. Things that should be treated openly, they will try to take you to a constitution that doesn't work. A constitution that does not arrest Fulani Herdsmen. A constitution that reintegrates Boko Haram terrorists into the army and the police and into communities. A constitution that commands the army to pay ransom to terrorists. A constitution. Show me in the constitution of Nigeria where they say that you will pay ransom to terrorists. So if people cannot challenge it, this kind of people cannot challenge it, what they will challenge is referendum, which is the peaceful way. But they cannot challenge these very criminals who will hold people hostage and demand money from federal government. But they are challenging you, telling you that constitution of Nigeria, no referendum. But they cannot tell you where the constitution said you must give money to terrorists. You must give 100 billion naira to terrorists. No, they cannot tell you. That is to tell you how foolish and how idiotic they are. How stupid and how useless they are. People who cannot tell you the law of Nigeria, who guarantees Fulani Herdsmen to carry AK-47. They cannot show you a law who tells Fulani Herdsmen to take their cows to people's land. But they will be telling you a Nigerian constitution whereby if you want to Biafra, you go through the referendum. There is no referendum, so you go to National Assembly. Do Fulani Herdsmen go to National Assembly or Senate to get the power of carrying gun? The answer is no. So why should foolish people like this be referring you to non-existing constitution? A constitution that has Sharia in it, automatically it nullifies the constitution and make it useless. So when you quote such any section of the constitution for IPOB, you become foolish before yourself, because we do not regard that very constitution that without referendum, the constitution is useless. How can a particular people, Sokoto, be in charge of religion. They book in their religion in Constitution of Nigeria, that everybody is involved. IPOB is the national threat. Radio Biafra is the national threat. But Sharia law that cuts people's leg, cuts people's hands, a Sharia law that is a separate constitution that no Nigerian, other Nigerians is defending the law. Rather, a particular section in Nigeria defends the law of Sharia, where we are all involved. And you tell me that that is a country that you quote their constitution for us. A country where army will pay compensation, a country where governor will pay ransom to terrorists, and they will see freedom fighter and call them terrorists. That is a country where you tell us you will be quoting a law. Can you quote a law where it tells you that cows will be eating your crops? You cannot quote it. Is it in Nigerian constitution? No, but it is happening in Nigeria, and you accepted it. You accepted it in Nigeria. But you don't want to hear referendum, a peaceful conduct that will determine the people's stand when they see strange things happening in a country where they found themselves. Where Muslims can invade your community, take all of you down, and shout Araba, Araba. Rename your community, live in it, and government will tell you that it is provocation that people kill their cow. Killing their cow make them to rename 14 communities in Kwara. Killing their cows make them to rename communities in Benue. Kill them, occupy their land. You are quoting a constitution whereby you see that the country have turned up, where a particular people will be invading communities and be killing them. That is not in the constitution. You will be kicking against a peaceful conduct of referendum, where you cannot kick the violence conduct of the government, which they are being that is being championed by their foot soldiers, Fulani Herdsmen. Tell us a constitution that guarantees Fulani Herdsmen to carry gun. If you cannot argue it, why are you going to a peaceful conduct of referendum, linking us to Nigerian constitution, a constitution that created and gave you 15 senators? They named you Southeast, and they created South and Northwest, Northeast, North Central. And when they came to Senate, they vote together against your will. And that is where you are quoting for us and say, send your national regards. You see, we told you that we will frustrate people to the extent that they will become useless before their children. Our agitation is agitation that will have intelligence. We have bread. We do not reason like Nigerians. That's why when you see a Nigerian lawyer or Nigerian writers like these fools on my screen, when they can be able to deceive Nigerians, they will beat their chest. We can talk to IPOB. We can blackmail IPOB. We can also convince IPOB. These are people who cannot hold a particular thing for complete 10 years. But they are trying to convince people who have held their agitation for a decade plus. A particular people who have been jumping from party to party. A particular people who have been making choices of political fathers. But IPOB remains one. Remains there. For how many years Nnamdi Kanu remains their leader? These are people that is a Nigerian, that have between 8 years, you have joined 4 parties. These are the people you are trying to talk, as if we are not born in Nigeria, as if nothing moved us to agitate, as if we just started. So you come and talk to us as you talk to Nigerians. It doesn't happen. Our reasoning is different. Our reasoning is different. That triggered the agitation. Different reasoning. We reason that whatever that Nigeria, a particular people demands for against others, like Sharia law, automatically, hence a particular people is in charge of the Sharia law. Where I have not seen Igbo man that say, America, leave the Sharia law. Yoruba people did not say, leave the Sharia law. It is only Northerners. Not the Northern citizens, like, just the Northern Fulani Caliphate, because that is their own part of constitution. That is the constitution that Fulani obeys. That is the constitution the Northerners obeys. So it is not their leaders that stone Deborah to death. It is that constitution that the Northerners obeys. Yes, there are Christians there. Then Deborah is not an Igbo woman. right? Why was she stoned? Because a Sharia law must be maintained. A particular constitution, section of constitution that is for the particular people must be maintained against the citizens of Nigeria. A Sharia law that must be maintained against Deborah. Sharia law that must be maintained against other Nigerians, against other Nigerian constitution. The Sharia law action on Deborah is automatically against so many sections of Nigerian constitution. But the very act of the northern citizens is completely right in Sharia law, but against Nigerian constitution. And the Sharia law is in Nigerian constitution. Do you see the confusion there? The killings of Deborah, the Nigerian constitution validates it under Sharia. Now, killing of Deborah, Nigerian constitution condemns it on a secular, on a general law, the whole constitution. It condemns it. But there is a particular law for a particular section that gives them power to bring Deborah down. And we are running the same country with them. That there is they have their own section of constitution that they can carry on obeyed on you that is not guilty under Nigerian constitution. Under Nigerian constitution, normally, Deborah was not guilty. But under Northern Constitution, Sharia, that exists in 12 states, Deborah was guilty. Now, how do you come to me and quote such constitution for me? There is no place that is right in the constitution. So any person, like these idiots on my screen, you see quoting such constitution, then they are useless. The issue is because the constitution did not allow you to kill Deborah. But one part of the constitution allows you to take Deborah down. The Sharia section gives you grant to kill Deborah, burn her, and celebrate it. And that Sharia law is in Nigerian constitution. And the Nigerian constitution as a whole condemns that very mob that kills Deborah. The law that said she should be tried if she committed offense. But another law said she should be stoned to death. That is in one constitution that a sane person will be coming to quote for IPOB. Christian genocide. Chineke mekwere mebere. Chineke mekwere mebere. Facebook, you are wasting your time. I must be voicing out. You say you no longer allow people to see my post, right? You will not recommend it to people on my page, and it's not my business. It's not my business. I must be voicing out. Saying the West as it is. Facebook, I can never use spy to address the world on what is happening in our land. I can never use it. If it was prepared for Nigerians by DSS, I don't use it. I don't use it. Page I will shop. I don't use it. I may use here this page for fight, for freedom fight. Only the page how their business. And it is not a crime. Do you understand? They have to save that. In here, this work, maybe the page, maybe those. Maybe those. She said that I told you 10 or no battle. Okay, Mazi. Use by to address the world on what is killing going on in my land. May use by for what? Why should DSS give such thing to bloggers and then so interview? Why can't they use another language that the world will understand? Even unalive. They didn't give them unalive. They didn't. They gave them I. And you want me to be singing something that is unpresentable. I don't sing it. I don't do like that. I don't reason like that. Don't reason. How can the people hear my voice and know what I'm talking about? I no go use them. I no go use them. You must prove to me the reason why one constitution of a country, one part of the constitution of a country gives a particular people right to stone Deborah to death. And the same constitution that guarantees them to stone Deborah to death is in a constitution of Nigeria that stops them from destroying Deborah. But because the very Sharia law supersedes Nigerian law. So they carried it on Deborah. And how can I live in one country with such a people where they run two systems of government, two laws? And somebody that want to convince IPOB will be quoting the other law without quoting Sharia law. Why is it that if you want to deceive IPOB, there is no part of the Sharia law you can use to deceive IPOB? And they tell IPOB to continue in Nigeria. Or is Sharia law not part of Nigerian law? So we want people to be quoting Sharia law for IPOB, directing their argument to Sharia law. If you can dodge Sharia law and you be using the other part that doesn't work in the life of Northerners, that doesn't work on Fulani Herdsmen, the constitution that can arrest Igbo man but cannot arrest Fulani Herdsmen, this constitution that did not allow Igbo man to hold a knife but allows Fulani Herdsmen to carry gun. That is why you are quoting for me. But you cannot quote for me the Sharia law. Do you understand? This is a constitution that allows Northerners that is a terrorist to be reintegrated into the army. This is a constitution that allows Sharia law, Sharia constitution, they are maintaining it. This is a constitution that allows, but you think they are running Nigerian constitution? No. This is a constitution that Tinubu cannot decide on Fulani actions without consulting Sultan. As Sultan come to Asorok the other day and told him how to run his own government, because Sultan is the president of Fulani, and the short Northerners as a whole is a republic inside Nigeria. They run with their own constitution, but the confusion there, this say there is that they attach their constitution in Nigerian constitution. So all becomes Nigerian constitution. So you will not be seeing different government. But this is two government in a country whereby you can save your leg with the other constitution. And the other constitution of Sharia will cut off your leg. Whereby the other constitution, the main constitution, guarantees Deborah to ask questions in their WhatsApp group. But the other constitution of Sharia did not allow Deborah to even say anything. But that is one constitution. How can you see a person that come to quote any part of that constitution to you, as in to convince a freedom fighter? No, now. One is that you were not consulted before they add Sharia law in that. Right? So why should you want me, why should you challenge me that is presenting a peaceful conduct, referendum, when you have not challenged me through Sharia law in Nigerian constitution? You will dodge it and come and be quoting the one that Fulani does not obey. Any law you quote for me, Fulani doesn't obey it. Therefore, the constitution is nullified. The law of Fulani is a constitution in the hand of Satan, was written by Sadwana of Sokoto Ahmadu Bello. This is a constitution that runs them. A constitution that took Deborah out of the earth. A constitution. Thank you. I met you here with the truth. Then you will know. A people that run organization, freedom fighting, without borrowing money from a country. Nigeria is running a country, borrowing money while they are selling oil. IPOB that runs the organization without borrowing money from you. You never had it, we borrow from bank or anybody. And you are there challenging IPOB who have run their organization for a decade plus. Can you make a IPOB? Not running organization as smoothly, they are being killed, tortured, abducted, attacked, and still illegally detained. Ya wuru onye na-aga enuzubeghi anything. N'aha Nigeria na-abịa I challenge IPOB. Iwu onye, who are you? Wait, this is you cannot be in 5 years fight a battle 5 years. Your own is that you are free with the government. We are not free. We don't borrow. Nigeria, you are support. You want me to belong to? They are borrowing. Me that is agitating, we manage ourselves in IPOB. We never borrow you. We never borrow your bank. We never borrow your country. We never borrow from you. But your country is announcing their borrow. And if we can run our organization without borrowing like your country, then why do you want me to belong to such a country where we can run a freedom fighting organization greater than a government you want me to belong to? A country that runs their country, say their resources, they borrow money. If they want to bat their head, they borrow money. If a country say they will not give them support, they will be crying. They will be crying, but you want IPOB to belong to a country that sells soil and borrow money. You want us to belong to a country where a white man must confirm if you are doing anything good or bad. Your people cannot see this thing you are doing and say it is good. You are waiting for a white man to confirm it. That's why they brought Boris Johnson to come and tell them that there is peace in Imo. And that is where I am waiting for them to announce anything and say there is criminality in Imo. I will go back to Boris Johnson. You see, when they lie, they don't know we are waiting for them. Let us hear a news from them, from Imo, and say criminality with that. Automatically, it debunks Boris Johnson's claim. So, if anything they give, I say, yes, and this, and security, this, you go back to Boris Johnson's claim. That's why you keep record. You need to hit on some argument. Just go and get the headline, you may attach or regular in one. Because they cannot bring somebody that will say there is peace. Somebody that did not talk more than 1 hour, up to 1 hour. Stay in a gathering up to 1 hour. Will now tell you there is peace in Imo. Against those that are living in it. He just came and left. Within 30 minutes, 1 hour, he left with heavy security. He now gave you a headline that he feel comfortable. He did not sleep in the night. He feel comfortable within 30 or 40 minutes he was there. He is now telling you that he's living in Imo. How comfortable Imo is. That is the condition we are. A white man will come and confirm it. That's why we see everybody talking about Nigeria as a fool. How can you be telling me about Nigeria that one particular constitution guaranteed particular people to kill a woman, a lady, a student, who argued why they posted Islamic something in their WhatsApp group where they are here for their study, for their education? Why are you bringing Islamic something here? They say she has committed offense because she committed offense on a particular portion of this constitution, which is Sharia, and found a Nigerian constitution that supersedes the main constitution, which Deborah knew that under Nigerian constitution she was right. But she don't know that there is another constitution in Nigerian constitution. She don't know that there is a powerful constitution that is supersedes the constitution that she believes in, that saves her. That constitution that gives her right to ask questions. There is a constitution of Sharia that gives them right to stone you down. Do you understand? Thank you. Thank you. So when we expose you, I call you a fool. When I expose you, I call you an idiot. After argument, when he to disgrace us. When he gave me, I would dub cross you. That is how we argue. Dub cross you in logic. And there was a more tragedy. You become you are a fool. Simple. Are you not a fool? We run organization for a decade plus. Party 2 years. We run it with our own money, with our own debt, our life. We go to burial with our money. We treat ourselves with our money. We do. Oga, do you think it's easy? When you cannot run your family well, when Nigeria cannot run, Nigerian government cannot run Nigeria without borrowing. Yeah, I was wrong. Now they challenge. They run IPOB for a decade plus. Isn't it come with sense? You are taking me to a constitution that guarantees the life of Deborah, and the same constitution condemns Deborah and guarantees these people to stone Deborah down. Constitution inside constitution, republic inside a republic. And based on this, the constitution becomes useless to IPOB. One is that referendum is a peaceful conduct, but Sharia law is a violence law. A law that guarantees the cut off your hand they cut off your leg. It's a violent law. And this is existing in Nigerian law. And people will come and quote a portion of the constitution in that place to counter referendum, whereby they cannot quote the portion of constitution that guarantees Fulani herdsmen to carry gun. No way. They cannot quote the constitution that guarantees cows to come and eat your crops. No, they will tell you, they will challenge the peaceful one, referendum. Tell you it is not in Nigerian constitution, but he's no longer living with his parents. They are living on their own and their wife and children. That is self-determination. Self-determination. Decide to live on your own. You decide to live on your own. Your mother did not kill you. They did not cut off your head. Now you manage one way. Each advice, the other advice, simple. You let a child name with a constitution that guarantees the cut off your hand, and you are quoting the one that say you have the right to say what you like. Are you not aware that you are a fool? Because under Sharia law, which is in Nigerian constitution, you don't have the right to say what you like. But the same Fulani that knows that it is dangerous in Sharia law, they will come. If they want to deceive you, they will quote Nigerian law for you. And you have the right. Everybody have the right to move from one location to the other. Everybody have the right in this country to say his mind. What they are telling you is around that constitution they used to deceive you. If we go to Sharia law, you will see that you don't have right to say those things. And that particular law is holding 12 states. And this state is under Nigerian state, under Nigeria as a country. And this very state have the right to take somebody that is completely constitutionally right. These very 12 states of the North Authority of Sharia will find you guilty under Sharia law. But you are right under Nigerian law. So why should people come up, people on my screen come up to be quoting such a constitution for you? A constitution that guarantees the other people to take your life. And that constitution is attached in Nigerian constitution. And these people in their hypocrisy can never quote that constitution. They will be quoting the one that guarantees you to say your mind. To say your mind. Do you understand? You don't know that not in every area in Nigeria you say your mind. Because there is a place you say it in Nigeria, a law that is in the same Nigerian constitution that asks you to say your mind. That particular law of Sharia will tell you that you don't have the right to say your mind in Sokoto, in Kanu, in Kebi, in Kaduna. You don't have the right. But that you have the right to say it in Edo State, in Enugu State. Do you understand? In Delta State. But you don't have the right to say it in Kanu, that you are running a country. Had Deborah made that comment in that their WhatsApp group in River State, she will not be stoned down. But she made it in a republic inside Nigeria, Sokoto Caliphate, a republic that is championing Christian genocide inside Nigeria. A republic that runs Sharia law. A republic that runs foot soldier, Fulani herdsmen. A republic that Nigerian president cannot take action on his citizens, Fulani, without consulting the Sultan. A constitution that rules Fulani. A constitution that guarantees them not to be arrested by the other constitution, by police and army of the other constitution. We run two constitutions. The constitution that will give police right to arrest Igbo man, that constitution did not give police right to arrest Fulani herdsmen. No. How can you arrest? Are you not aware of the law of Sultan of Sokoto? The law guarantees Fulani herdsmen to move from house to house, from room to room, from compound to compound, from community to community, from vineyard to vineyard, from farmland to farmland. That is the constitution. That is the constitution But you will be quoting the other one. No, you don't have the right to trespass. If you are quoting it for Fulani, you are a fool. Because the constitution of Nigeria is not for them. It is when they want to cheat you. They say, do we not have constitution in this country? The constitution that guarantees the movement of everybody from place to place. Do you understand? That's what you hear from their idiots in the National Assembly. They come and tell you how they have right to go and destroy your farmland. And you go, you will be quoting the constitution that say you have to send your National Assembly. You see, you form a particular party. You know you are leading 5 million. So you have to form a party. Then you vote in your candidate. I'm going to form a party. Can you form a party? I'm going to Imo State to vote. A weapon hat. You cannot set to go to Matali before you go Abuja T1 with T1 in Nimo. The Abuja remove a making head on and put a killer who pose on them. So why should you also refer somebody to Abuja where they are home? When you cannot even enjoy your own person you voted in your state of Imo. They remove him and brought death. In a direct command to such country and go and do what? Do you understand? Just tag them if you know they are. Not only them, this is just to be addressing people with their picture. Do you understand? Tag them. Tag their lives. The lives of them. Because I am not mad in here. I am tagging here, you confirm more. In truth and in honesty. You know about it. I know about JJ. If I was here. Thank you. Thank you. A country that cannot run a government without borrowing is telling people that are running organization for a year, over 10 years now, without borrowing from them, telling us to remain with them. Is that not stupidity? A country that their politicians do not have hospital in our land. Is it in National Assembly you go and settle the issue of hospital? Or is it in National Assembly you go and change the police attitude? Or are you going to National Assembly to change the army attitude in our land? So if you vote in your senator, you control the army, not to invade community. Is that not stupidity? If you vote the army, if you vote your candidate, the candidate now in the House of Assembly or National Assembly, they will now tell the Fulani Herdsmen not to invade your community. Is your law ruling Fulani? Is your senator representing Fulani? Fulani will be dealing with you. What is the business of any president with Fulani activities? That's why they say, hey, Peter be making the president. And you ask the idiot, will Peter be change the whole police? Is it not the same Nigerian police that is already corrupt? Is it not the same army, the same road safety, the same everything? Is he going to build police? Rubbish. Is he going to change politicians? Is it not the same people, both SDP, both everything? Are they not the same people here today? What are you going to change? Allow people to start a fresh government of their own. Let them arrange fresh things. Simple. Allow people to live and start fresh things. Not the same criminal every day. Bring all of them in. Thank you. Sharia law makes the constitution useless before IPOB. So you may be quoting it from today to tomorrow. You are a useless person. And the constitution is useless. How? Quote the Sharia law. Use Sharia law. Sharia law is in the Nigerian constitution. Quote it for IPOB. Stop quoting laws, portion of the laws that cannot arrest Fulani for me. and tell me it is one Nigeria. Which law guarantees Fulani to move with the gun? But you will quote a law that guarantees, that stops me from holding even a penknife. Talk more of holding gun. That is where you'll be quoting for me. To show your hypocrisy. We want anybody now that want to tell IPOB in a Nigerian constitution. What constitution say? Read Sharia law for us. You cannot be quoting the whole constitution without going closer to Sharia law to use it to convince IPOB. Or is it not Nigerian constitution? Use it to convince us. Don't use non-existing laws before us. A law that can only arrest Igbo man cannot arrest Fulani. A law that can only retain Igbo man cannot retain Fulani in detention. A law that will make Fulani herdsmen and Boko Haram to return back to communities of the people they killed and rename their communities. And that law prohibits Igbo man from doing anything in his land. Is the one you read for me. Facebook, you are wasting your time. Don't, it's not. Whatever you are doing here is your business. I am here for my own business. We don't have gun. Are you hearing sound of gun? So why can't you accommodate my truth? In Anu Deborah, then why are you shaking? Why is Facebook staff shaking? You are comfortable with Fulani Herdsmen news. You are not comfortable with this truth we are saying. Continue. One day Nigeria had that Dagitu never no. Thank you. So that is the end of this very program. Asem can go na ndị a niile na-abịa agwa gị Nigerian constitution na otu ị ga-eme na nwe ihe ha ma, because there is Sharia law in their constitution. So if they cannot quote Sharia law to convince you and tell you the portion of Sharia law that stops you from agitation, let them stop quoting non-existing law. A law that guarantees, that cannot arrest Fulani herdsmen for killing communities. Stop quoting it for me. Quote Sharia law. Sharia law is the active law in Nigeria. The Sharia law that supersedes the law that guarantees the life of Deborah. That Sharia law gave people right to take the life of Deborah. But there is a portion of the constitution which they present to Igbo man that saves Deborah. But there is a law that have already convicted Deborah. That is Sharia law. And we cannot live in such country. And we cannot listen to anybody that have refused to give us referendum and be quoting a useless and non-existing law for us. And a country that have been borrowing before we started agitation, and we have never borrowed like them, announcing we never borrowed safe, talk more of. And we can even get money among us. You are trying to convince me to remain in such country where we can run an ordinary organization. We can even run vigilante, anti-terrorism vigilante, ESN. We can even be sponsoring them the little we can, and be running our organization, running our activities. But Nigeria cannot run their own. They want to buy bicycle, they will go and borrow. They want to barb their hair, they will go and borrow. They want to buy shoe for senators, they will go and borrow. And how can we that have managed from decade plus now, since when we started to a decade plus now, we have been succeeding, and you that is running the country without succeeding want us to belong back to your failure? We cannot. We cannot. From me, fellow Happy Evangelist Mazi, from here, it is good evening.